now have a look at the process of responding. The place to look is Rule 15. The Employment Tribunal will send the claim form to the respondent with notice of whether any part of it is rejected and the prescribed response form on which any response must be made. The notice gives the time for responding as within 28 days of being sent the claim form by the Employment Tribunal. Have a look at Rule 16. Rule 16 says that respondents may use the same response form if they are resisting on the same grounds, or if they are saying that they do not intend to resist the claim. The respondent may resist multiple claims based on the same facts using one claim response form. By Rule 17, the response form will be rejected if it is not on the prescribed form, or if it lacks the respondent's full name and address and an indication of whether the respondent wants to dispute all or part of the claim. Where a response form is rejected, a notice is sent explaining why it was rejected and explaining the respondent's potential course of action, which is to apply for an extension of time. It also tells them how to apply for reconsideration. These are set out in Rules 17 and 18. The reasons why a response form might be rejected are, firstly, Rule 17, that the correct form wasn't used, or Rule 18, that it was presented late. Any application for an extension must either precede the presentation of the response form or accompany it. Let's look at that point in a little more detail now. If the response form is received outside the time limit in Rule 16, or any extension of that limit which has been granted within the original limit, then unless either an application for an extension has already been made under Rule 20, or the response includes or is accompanied by one, then the form will be received out of time. Where there is an application for an extension accompanying the response form, the response is not rejected pending the outcome of the application. Suppose that the response form is rejected, it's returned to the respondent together with a rejection notice. This explains that it's been presented late and how the respondent can apply for an extension of time, and also how to apply for reconsideration. The basis for reconsideration is that the decision to reject the response form was wrong, or that the notified defect, the defect that's been notified under Rule 17, can be rectified. A respondent can apply in writing for a reconsideration and present that application to the Employment Tribunal within 14 days of the date the rejection notice was sent. The application must explain why the decision was wrong or the defect can be cured, and it must state whether the respondent wants a hearing. If the respondent doesn't state this, the judge decides the application without one. The judge may also do this if the judge decides that the response form should be accepted in full. An application to extend time for presenting a response under Rule 20 must be a written application, and a copy must be sent to the claimant explaining why the extension is sought. However, if the time has already expired, the application must have a draft response that the respondent wishes to present, or an explanation why that is not possible. If the respondent wants a hearing of the application must state that as well. The claimant, within 7 days of receipt of the application, may give written reasons why the application is opposed. The judge decides this and can do so without a hearing, whether or not one is sought.